we're gonna talk about the player decline in Final Fantasy XIV, which is absolute dog water. Just garbage regurgitated by the worst type of people. And I also went to try and find a forum post about this. Because there's a 75% player decline in Final Fantasy XIV. No, it's not. Stop spreading misinformation. So I'm looking for the official forum post that talks about it, and I found it. Yeah, let's go ahead and open this. We lost. Okay, let me go ahead and see how I can put this on the stream so you guys can see it. Yada yada. Okay, here it is. Let's talk about this. This is the official forum post that talks about the player decline of Final Fantasy XIV. It says, Final Fantasy XIV player count reached its lowest point in 4 years. We lost 75% of the player base. Let me counter that with this argument. Hold on. Because this, first of all, dude, you're using Steam shards. That's not reliable for 14. You know why it's not reliable for Final Fantasy 14? This is not taking into consideration the Xbox players, the PlayStation 4 and 5 players. You're not taking in consideration Windows players. You know, like I'm a Windows player. I don't play on Steam. I play on Windows because I've been playing the game for the past 13 years, give or take. Yeah, it's before I remember more. That's how I've been playing the game. I don't use Steam, so he's using this as an excuse, right? Then you see a peak over here in November that he did not even mention, right? November last year, right? People kind of stopped playing, and this is normal. This basically, even using the Steam chart, this is telling you this is a normal thing. We're tend to lose players because of the patch cycles. This is a big criticism we've been having, and this is nothing special. We're not losing 75% of the player base. That's stupid. Then we got Lucky Banjo, who apparently confirms these numbers. The thing is, Lucky Banjo doesn't really confirm anything at all. They just say there has been a player decline. But in nowhere does Lucky Banjo say there's 75% of a player base gone. They say there was a decline similar to that of Shadowbringers, because people either they don't like the game brand new story, or they don't like the patch cycles. They don't like the long patch cycles, and because of that, they're not playing the game. They'll come back when the new patch comes out, when there's a lot of content to do. That's normal. That's fine. Yes, there was a big decrease here. Let me open up my cursor so you guys can see it. There we go. So right here, this is a comparison with Shadowbringers, right? Yeah, there was a massive decline. Okay, that's fine. I'm not sure where this guy is getting his information about 75%, because that's not true. And this Lucky Banjo data, it's somewhat a little bit old. We already talked about this a while ago. So there's nothing new. And then this guy saying, you know, smart ass remark about the vendor. My personal opinion about this hairstyle, should have been a reward for playing machinist. You know, the role quest thingies. That should have been a reward. Now, let me go ahead and debunk the whole 75% players, right? Let me tell you why. If indeed there was 75% player decrease, right? If indeed there was a player decrease, if that was the case, I wouldn't have to wait on a queue. This game has been since Shadowbringers, always with a queue. There's so many people playing this goddamn game. You can't say the 75% because it's not true. It's bullcrap. Let me open this here again. So it's absolute dog water. There's no basis to what they're saying. They use the stream charts, which doesn't take into consideration other platforms, only Steam. And even then, Steam's still doing fine. Those are normal numbers for 14. Yeah, they're a little bit low. That's normal during this time when there's no actual content. Something that a lot of people, including myself, have been very critical about. Let me so we're gonna continue with this, right? Then we're gonna close this. We got this. This was 1 month ago. Lucky Bancho reveals Final Fantasy XIV large player drop off among patch 7.0 and 7.1. Every expansion saw growth between 0.0 and 0.1. Right? There was a decrease here. Let me tell you why there was a decrease. It wasn't because of the story. The patch for 7.1 didn't have enough content to warrant people to return to keep playing. Not only that, when that patch came out, there were so many other video games coming out that people wanted to play that it makes sense, right? There was not enough player retention in Dawntrail 7.1. That's fine. We've been critical about this. 7.1 didn't have good enough content for players to, to keep engaging, to keep coming back and all that. Now we come down here. This is my old account, GoneTime81. If you see me posting on Twitter, on Reddit, that's me. I'm not hiding that at all. Let's see. Yeah, they're talking about this already. In terms of player retention, there wasn't much. So we kind of saw 45% of the player base returning for 0.1. Or 39 returning. And only 39% return for 6.1. So there is a player increase, regardless. So this is from Lucky Bancho, and they're saying that 14 will likely fall under 1 million active players going to pre-Shadowbringers era, which is fine. There's something else that people don't understand, or perhaps they do, but they don't want to acknowledge it. Whatever. Final Fantasy XIV, the greatest story, ended in Endwalker. Every person that joined during Shadowbringers that was interested in the story during the COVID pandemic era wanted to see the conclusion of the game. Dawntrail promised a brand new adventure. Not a lot of people were too happy about it. A lot of people were content with completing the game with Endwalker and quitting. That's something that did happen. Because their story is over. I could go on a rant about Dawntrail and tell you that Dawntrail had a promising story, but it didn't really deliver. But that's not the point here. What was that? Hold on. Getting sidetracked here for a second. Because I got my chat over here. Dawntrail set records and still holds the daily player accounts for around 1.42 players according to MMO population. Yeah, that's another thing. I was checking other websites that had like information about the player base, and we still have pretty good player retention. This is fear mongering. This is someone who didn't like Dawntrail, and they're placing the blame on 1.4 million players. Yeah, and I believe it. Right now, I had to wait on a queue just to get into my game. It's been like that since forever. You cannot trust streamer charts. You just can't. Hold on. Let me save. You can't trust streamer charts, Steam charts, because Steam charts don't tell you the complete story. I guess I can take this opportunity to talk about how I feel about Dawntrail's story. I'm not gonna keep reading all this. The forums. This guy is spreading misinformation, but the reason why I want to talk about it is because of this post that he made. We're spreading lies about Dawntrail now, huh? Oh, it's Grummz, the guy who hasn't played Final Fantasy XIV at all, and blames it on Wook Lamont. Disgusting piece of trash. Because Grummz is a disgusting piece of trash. Exactly, Reavers. Exactly. Imagine using its Steam charts to gouge player count. That's just malicious intent right there. They're doing it maliciously to spread misinformation. That's what it is. And then you got Pirate Nation, which I'm pretty sure it's someone from OTK using their account to spread all this. You know, all they do, this person, Pirate Nation. Why am I saying OTK? Because OTK has been known to be doing the type of stuff. It's probably someone random. Who cares? The point is I'm trying to make is Pirate Nation is an account on Twitter that loves engagement baiting. And that's what they do. So, of course, they took this misinformation garbage from a user who's only using Steam charts to spread this misinformation. This is not true at all. We haven't lost anything. This is garbage, and content creators for Final Fantasy XIV need to come up and stop this misinformation. I'm telling you right now. Because this just looks bad overall. Because people don't care about facts on the internet. They don't. They say this and it says the gospel. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we need content creators to come out and basically, you know, call this out. Don't keep quiet. Yep. What's this? Not only multiplayer, but yeah. The modern launcher, which I use the XIV launcher. You can put Steam in it, but I don't use it at all. I don't use Steam at all. This is all nothing but lies and misinformation. And guys, forgive me about the curse. Fuck Grummz. Fuck you, you sniveling piece of trash. And fuck Pirate Nation. And not only, and it, oh God. Another piece of trash who just spreads misinformation. Yeah, I don't launch the game through Steam. I launch other games through Steam, but not 14. And like 14, when you launch stream, it launches on a launcher. It's like so stupid. It's just I just play it from the official game then. I don't need the you know, Steam for that. This is misinformation. This is wrong. Grummz is a sniveling piece of shit who loves to stir drama and spread misinformation. And yeah, Pirate Nation is another sniveling piece of shit who loves to rage bait, and people can reply to them and whatnot. So when you see this type of people, just screenshot them and don't give them the engagement, because that's what they want. They want engagement. Spreading lies leads to engagement. I can tell you right now, 14 Dawntrail had a huge surge, but the story didn't pan out. Now, I love Wook Lamont. I love Koana. I love Baku Jaja, Soralja. The new characters they introduced, they were all great. But the way that the story was constructed was rushed. And it had a lot of issues. One of my main problems that I had with the game, with Dawntrail, was how the quests were being presented. There was a lot of fetch quests, escort quests. There were quests that could have been side quests. They were really poorly done. And many of the quests didn't even explore more about Wuklamad, Kuana, and Bakul Jaja. It felt really rushed. And then you have the second half of the story that's mixing up a brand new story. So it kind of feels like two expansions in one, and it feels rushed. Now, there's a good story there. They have the pillars to create a fantastic story. They have the tools to make a fantastic story. It's how you tell it that's important. It's very easy to use Wuklamad as an scapegoat and blame her for everything, but it's not true. There's other factors that go into the whole game and why characters, not just Wook, Kuana and Bakul Jaja didn't get their time of day. I've been saying this for a while. We did not need the Scions to join us in this adventure. I love Thancred, Urianger. I love them all. We didn't need you. Those roles could have been set for new characters. Those roles could have been set for brand new characters. We could have met up with the Scions at the end of the expansion. That would have been more meaningful. We could have just kept Graha and Creel and Stenian. That's it. The other guys, talk to you later. We don't need Alphanud or his sister, Alphanud Red. We don't need them. We didn't need any one of them. To be honest, it would have been a perfect opportunity to introduce brand new characters. That's my biggest pet peeve. When it comes to the story, there's something fantastic there, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And I feel like the whole Dawn Servant main story should have been concluded in 7.0 and then introduce Alexandria in 7.1. But that's just me, right? Other than that, I feel that Dawntrail is a good expansion, but the biggest problem is the lack of long-term engaging content. That's it. If we had the field operations from the very beginning or the cosmic exploration, I don't think people will be as critical of the game as they are right now. So yeah, bottom line, Grummz is a sniveling piece of shit who likes to lie. He doesn't play Final Fantasy XIV. He doesn't even own a Chocobo in Final Fantasy XIV. People found his character and they found out he barely even has any achievements on it. Pirate Nation is just an engagement baiting piece of trash. Never take anything he's saying. And this dude, it's just spreading misinformation. We have not lost 75% of the player base at all.